You wake up on a hard wooden board, no mattress, no blanket, no pillow. Just you, the splinters, and the faint smell of smoke, mold, and sweat that clings to every surface like a curse. The room is still dark, though the low drone of a waking city begins to press through the cracked shutters, shouting vendors, clattering hooves, barking dogs, and 1,000 indistinct voices rising like steam. You are in a Roman insula, a cheap apartment block stacked like stone beehives, and you have already made your first mistake. You opened your eyes. The air is heavy and sour. There is no ventilation, no window you can open, just a square hole that doubles as a chimney, and it's doing a bad job of being either. You cough as you sit up, brushing away crumbs and something that might be a cockroach. The tunic you slept in itches horribly. It's made of coarse wool, cut crookedly, and soaked in the sweat of 1,000 days. It hasn't been washed since Saturnalia. You're not even sure what month it is anymore. Your body aches in a way you didn't think possible. Your back is stiff from the plank bed. Your legs are sore from walking everywhere, because everyone walks in Rome unless they own a horse or a litter, and you own exactly one wooden cup, a dented bowl, and a crust of bread so hard it could be used as a weapon. And now you need to relieve yourself. Badly. There's no toilet in your unit. That would be a luxury. Instead, you stumble down 4 uneven flights of stairs, each step slick with grease, wine, and things better left unnamed. No handrails, no lighting. The stairs are steep and always damp, and falling could kill you. Many have died that way. A silent fall in the early morning, a broken neck, and a quiet removal. The latrine is at the end of a muddy alley. It's a public one, a row of stone seats with holes, communal and unsegregated. Beneath the holes runs a sluggish stream of sewage, barely moved by gravity. You sit down next to a man who doesn't acknowledge you. No one talks here. Everyone pretends this isn't happening. The smell is indescribable. Worse, there's no toilet paper. Instead, a shared sponge on a stick floats in a bucket of vinegar water. You stare at it. Someone stares at you. You wipe anyway. Welcome to your morning. You return to your room with your knees stiff and your spirit already worn thin. Breakfast is next. You don't expect much. You have a bowl of poles, a grainy, bland porridge made of barley or millet. It's not warm, there's no milk, a single dried fig on the side, if you're lucky. You chew slowly. It tastes like damp linen. If you're a laborer, and you are, you'll need energy. But this food doesn't give energy. It gives survival. Barely. You sip some pasca, a mixture of sour wine and water. It's meant to disinfect. Instead, it just burns a little going down. Your stomach groans. You open the shutters for air. A bad idea. The stench of the street below punches through like a fist. Human waste, animal waste, rotting meat, boiled cabbage, fish sauce, and smoke from hundreds of fires, all stirred together and poured into your nose. You shut it quickly. Then come the sounds. The city is alive, always. But alive in the way a battlefield is alive. Vendors scream, children cry, soldiers march in heavy sandals. The man next door is yelling at his wife. The dog across the alley has been barking for hours. Somewhere, a blacksmith is hammering. Every sound echoes. There's no peace, no insulation, just 1,000 lives crashing into each other all the time. You dress in the same tunic you slept in. There's nothing else to wear. You tie a rope around your waist and pray the patch you sewed yesterday holds. Shoes. You have sandals, thin leather soles, no padding, no arch support. Your feet already hurt, and you haven't walked yet. You leave the building. The sun is barely up. Your feet splash into mud. It's not just water, it's filth. The street is narrow, uneven, clogged with carts, stray dogs, and people. Everyone is in your way. Everyone is shouting. You keep your head down. Eye contact is a challenge here. It means you're looking for trouble, or worse, trying to prove something. You pass a bakery, the smell of charred flour mixing with the stink of urine from the alley beside it. Bread here is cheap, sometimes adulterated with sand or chalk to bulk it up. Your teeth hurt from eating it, but what choice do you have? A funeral procession passes by. A body wrapped in cloth, carried on a wooden board. No one stops. Death is too common to notice. As you walk to your work site, a muddy field where a new aqueduct is being dug, you dodge human waste being tossed from windows above. There are no warning cries. You just learn to move fast or live damp. Your job is simple. Dig, carry, stack, haul. You're not trained, not respected, and not paid well. But you are replaceable, and that means you work. The overseer shouts. You obey. Everyone does. Punishment is swift. You've seen men whipped bloody for stealing tools or resting too long. You've seen one die last week. The body was gone by midday. The work didn't stop. Lunch comes late, if at all. Bread, maybe a handful of olives, maybe nothing. You drink more Posca, warm now from the sun. It makes your head spin. You think of sleep, but you're not allowed. Not until sunset. When you return home, the stairs feel steeper. The air feels heavier. Your neighbor is cooking something. You hope it's not rat. You've eaten worse. You light an oil lamp. The smoke stings your eyes. You eat quietly if you have anything left. You wash your hands in cold water. There's no soap, just ash or sand. You try to sleep, but it's too hot, too loud, too smelly. You can hear everything, snoring, arguing, vomiting, footsteps. The walls are thin. Your thoughts are louder. You think of home, the one you had before this, if you ever had one. You think of leaving, but there's nowhere to go. You fall asleep, finally. Tomorrow will be the same, or worse. And you've only been here one day. You wake up to the same choking air, only thicker this time. It rained during the night, and now everything smells worse. The wooden floor is damp beneath you. Your tunic feels heavier, like it absorbed the night. You itch more than yesterday. There's a new rash on your neck, and your feet sting when you stand. You stretch, but your back groans in protest. Another day in Rome. Down the stairs again. This time, someone's vomited in the corner. No one cleans it. It just dries into the wall. You step over it, barely registering the stain. Outside, the world is already awake. You haven't eaten yet, but your appetite is gone. The street reeks. It's not just one smell, it's layers. Animal waste, from horses, mules, stray dogs. Human waste, from chamber pots emptied from windows. Fish sauce, fermented, thick, ever-present. Smoke from damp wood. Souring wine. Sweat. Blood. You get used to it, in the way people get used to pain, slowly and only because they must. You're sweating already, even though the sun hasn't cleared the roofs. The air is humid, heavy with the breath of a million bodies. There are no drains. Rainwater mixes with waste and runs in shallow streams along the gutters. You learn quickly not to splash. The aqueduct you're digging is a few miles away, so you walk. Past vendors selling bread baked hours ago and already going stale. Past butchers hacking meat on wooden blocks blackened from years of blood. No ice, no preservation. The meat smells like it's losing a battle. Flies win. You pass the fullers, men who clean clothes with human urine. They collect it in pots set on the street. The smell is sharp and acidic, and you can feel it coat your teeth. The clothes they clean never really lose the scent. When you wear them, it lingers. You do your best to breathe through your mouth, but the taste still reaches you. There's a bathhouse nearby, but it's expensive. You can't afford it. Most can't. You wash in cold water if there is any. Soap isn't common. It's sand or ash, rubbed into your skin until you bleed a little. That's how you scrub. That's how you clean. Public toilets, like yesterday's, are the norm. No privacy. No hygiene. People sit side by side, chatting or silent, pretending not to notice the smell. The same sponge, the same vinegar bucket. And the risk of infection, always there. You don't think about it. You can't afford to. Sickness is everywhere. Children coughing with blackened lips, adults with weeping sores. The elderly disappear quietly. Some have growths, some lose fingers. Most just die slowly, their bodies failing inch by inch. There's no hospital, no doctor, just pain, and someone saying it's the will of the gods. You think of your feet. The sores haven't healed. Blisters from walking through sewage. The sandals are worn down to nearly nothing. The leather straps dig into your skin. Every step hurts, but stopping is worse. At the work site, you see that someone's collapsed. He's still breathing, barely. Heat stroke, maybe, or fever. No one helps him. The foreman curses, kicks him once, and orders another man to take his place. You wonder if that man is you. You hope not. You're already coughing. There's a pit nearby where dead animals are dumped. Dogs, goats, sometimes mules. The smell drifts over in waves. You avoid looking. Yesterday, someone said there was a dead man under the animals. You didn't check. Lunch doesn't come, or if it does, it's late, and it's bread again, cracked and dense with weevils. You eat it anyway. Protein, someone says. You laugh, but your stomach turns. The sun is higher now, and there's no shade. Your tunic is soaked with sweat. It clings to your skin like a second disease. The foreman yells. You lift another rock. Your back protests. The man next to you wheezes with every breath. No one talks unless they have to. Talking wastes energy. Later, you see someone get whipped. He dropped a tool. The leather tears into his back, and he doesn't scream. He just takes it, jaw clenched, eyes vacant. That's Rome. You work until you can't, and then they make you work more. You dream of water. Clean, cold, endless. But the aqueduct is dry. It hasn't been connected yet, and even when it is, it'll flow through lead pipes. Sweet water, poisoned slowly. You won't know it's killing you. No one will. You get home as the sun dips. The room is stifling. The neighbors cooking cabbage again. The smell punches through the walls. You're too tired to eat. You lie down on the plank, feeling every bump and knot. Your rash itches. Your feet throb. Your teeth ache. You hear rats scratching. You hear someone crying. You hear someone being hit. The city never sleeps. It just changes voices. Your hands are cracked. Your skin is raw. Your stomach is hollow. Your eyes burn, and you still have to wake up tomorrow. You are awakened before dawn, not by an alarm, but by the sound of screaming. It's nearby, through the thin wall. A woman, maybe your neighbor, maybe not. You freeze, unsure if it's your place to care. That's the thing about Rome. Suffering becomes background noise. You listen, tense, then slowly sit up on your board. Your back is damp. Your tunic clings. The rash has spread. But you've stopped caring. You've stopped scratching. Today, you won't go to the site. You're limping too much. Your leg's infected. You need help. But there's no hospital. There's no doctor you can visit. You can try the forum, the place where everything happens. Laws, deals, trials, announcements. You shuffle there, limping, the morning haze still thick in the streets. On the way, a patrol passes, soldiers marching in pairs. You avert your eyes. You're not a citizen. If they stop you, there's no one to defend you. They can beat you, detain you, or worse. No trial, no appeal. It happens. You reach the forum. The square is loud, messy. Men in togas argue, waving scrolls. Others hawk goods. Somewhere, a man is being flogged. Blood spatters the stone. A child watches without blinking. You approach a vendor and ask where to find a healer. He points, disinterested. Down the alley, past the butcher. You find the place. A curtain, a room. Inside, a man in robes grinding herbs. His hands are stained red. "What do you want?" he asks. You show him your leg. He grunts. "Clean it in wine. Wrap it with wool. Come back if it rots." You ask for something better. He asks for coin. You don't have it. He shrugs. You leave. Outside, a crowd gathers. A crier reads a new decree, something about taxes, something about land. You don't listen, you don't own anything. But then you see a man in chains dragged to a platform. He's accused of theft. He begs. The judge doesn't flinch. Sentence is immediate. His hand is cut off, right there. No ceremony, just a sword and a scream. You flinch. Others a cheer. Justice, they call it. The man collapses. Blood pours. No one helps. He's dragged away like trash. That could have been you. Because here's the truth. You have no rights. You are not a Roman citizen. You have no lineage, no property, no voice in court. If someone wrongs you, you accept it. If you wrong someone, you pray they don't notice. Or you run. There is no police force. There are no detectives. Order is enforced by fear, money, and bloodlines. The wealthy have private guards. The poor have nothing. In Rome, law is theater. Trials are public, not for justice, but for spectacle. People attend them like games. Arguments fly. Witnesses lie. Bribes pass hands like coins in fountains. You think of the man punished for stealing bread. You remember the baker who gave you a half-stale loaf last week. You remember the look he gave you. Cautious, calculating. You were lucky. The Senate meets today, or so you hear. But they don't speak for you. They speak for themselves. The elite, the powerful, the ones who think of you only when your labor fails them. You walk past a temple. A priest chants. Incense burns. You peek inside. The statues are gold, the floors clean. You think of your room, your festering leg, your empty stomach. You wonder how the gods can live so well in this city. A man bumps into you, richly dressed. He doesn't look back. Your ribs still hurt from the impact. He didn't even notice. Later, you see a slave being whipped in public. He tried to run. His master stands nearby, calm. This is his right. No one interferes. Slavery is everywhere. You know people born into it, sold into it, punished into it. You fear it. You envy it. They get fed. Sometimes, you head home before sunset. You move quickly. At night, the city changes. The streets grow darker. The shadows longer. Gangs prowl. Muggings happen. Murders, too. If you die tonight, no one will investigate. Your room is silent. You lie down. You hold your breath, listening. Distant screams again. Or maybe just someone singing. It's all the same now, and you still have your other hand. For now. Your leg is worse. The skin is red, hot, stretched tight. Pus leaks through the dirty bandage you wrapped around it yesterday. A piece of your tunic, torn with shaking fingers. The pain is no longer sharp. It pulses, rhythmic, like something alive is growing inside. You need help, not advice, not prayers. real help. You limp toward the district where healers gather, or those who call themselves that. The walk takes twice as long as usual. People push past you, not unkindly, just indifferently. You are in their way. The weak always are. Eventually, you find a stall beneath an awning of faded linen. A man in a robe sits behind a crude wooden table. Instruments lie in front of him. Rusted hooks, stained knives, bowls of unidentifiable liquids. He doesn't look up. "Infection?" he asks. You nod. He motions you forward. No questions, no concern. You sit. He unwraps the cloth and clicks his tongue. Deep. Then he grabs a curved blade and says, "Hold still." There's no painkiller, no opium, no wine. He doesn't even warn you. He just cuts. You scream. Once. Then the sound sticks in your throat, replaced by fire, pure and white-hot. You try to pull away, but two boys, apprentices maybe just orphans, hold you down. You see your leg split open. You smell your own blood. You hear him mutter, "Better to lose the meat than the life." He pours wine into the wound. You convulse. Then he stuffs it with what looks like wool soaked in something that burns. "You'll live," he says. "Probably." You pay him with a single bronze coin. It was for food, not any more. You stumble away. You're sweating, shaking, dizzy. You find a wall and lean against it until your vision stops spinning. This is Roman medicine. No clean instruments, no understanding of bacteria, no antiseptics, just bleeding, burning, cutting, praying. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, you die. You remember stories. A man who lost his arm to a dog bite. Another who died from a fever after drinking cold water. A woman who gave birth and bled out on the floor because the midwife ran late. No one counts these deaths. They just happen, and the city moves on. You think about doctors, real ones, the ones who serve the rich. They have marble offices, brass tools, imported herbs. But they treat senators, patricians, citizens with names, not people like you. If you're lucky, a priest might chant over your body as you die. If you're not, your corpse will rot in an alley, picked apart by dogs. You limp toward the temple, not because you believe, but because it's quiet there. You sit on the steps, sweating, dizzy, watching flies swarm a bowl of fruit left as an offering. You wonder if anyone ever eats those offerings. You wonder if the gods even care. A priest emerges, gives you a look, not cruel, just tired, and says, "Don't die here." You nod. You won't. Not here. Later, you pass a man in the street. His eyes are wild. He talks to the sky, shouting at invisible shapes. Children throw stones at him. He doesn't react, just keeps ranting. In Rome, madness isn't treated. It's pitied, mocked, feared. There's no therapy, no hospitals for the mind, just exile or chains. You wonder how long before you end up like him. Your mind feels slow. The fever rises. Your leg throbs. You try to walk faster, but every step sends shocks up your spine. You pass a group of soldiers dragging a body. It's a woman. Her clothes are torn. Her face is bruised. You ask what happened. A man beside you shrugs. She lied, or stole, or both. That's the medical system, too. Fear, judgment, rumors. You reach your building, climb the stairs, collapse. You sleep without undressing, without cleaning your wound. You're too tired. You dream of being home, not here, not now. A clean bed, a quiet room, water that doesn't kill you, hands that heal gently, not cut you open. You wake up sweating. Your leg burns. Your head pounds. Outside, someone is coughing, a wet, deep cough that shakes the walls. You're not sure who will die first, them or you. Your leg hasn't healed, but the rent is due. There is no formal contract, no paperwork, just a man who owns the building, or claims to, and shows up once a month with 2 younger men and a club. If you can't pay, you get 1 warning. If you still can't pay, you get a beating. If you're lucky. Otherwise, you're dragged out, and your space is sold to someone else before you hit the ground. You've already sold the cup and bowl. You've begged, borrowed, lied. You've eaten scraps meant for animals. This time, there's nothing left to sell but yourself. You make your way to the military recruiter's booth, a stone structure near the forum hung with banners guarded by men in worn armor. You tell them your name, your age. You lie about both. They don't care. They ask if you can walk. You nod. They ask if you can carry a 50-pound pack, march 30 miles in heat, kill if needed. You hesitate. They take that as a yes. You're branded, literally. A hot iron on your forearm in case you try to run. You're handed a tunic, cleaner than yours, stiffer. A belt, sandals, a helmet that smells like 10,000 other men's sweat. A gladius, dull and notched. A shield the size of a door. No training. Not yet, just orders. Report to the castra, the military camp, before sundown. The camp is enormous. Rows of tents, rows of shouting men, rows of punishment. You see a man tied to a pole, his back striped raw. Another runs laps with sandbags tied to his arms. A centurion walks past, his whip dangling, his eyes searching. You fall in line. Training starts before sunrise. It never really ends. You march. You run. You carry stones. You dig trenches. You practice stabbing straw dummies until your arm goes numb. If you drop your shield, you get hit. If you fall behind, you get hit. If you speak out of turn, you get hit. Your leg bleeds through the bandage again. No one notices. They teach you discipline, but not through instruction, through exhaustion, through pain, through fear. Meals are better than what you had in the city. Salted pork, beans, bread, water, sometimes clean. But you eat standing. You eat fast. You eat ready to move. You sleep on the ground with your armor beside you. You sleep lightly because drills can start any time, even at night. They do. You get 1 bath a week, cold, fast, in a basin shared by 30 men. If you don't scrub fast enough, someone else pushes you out. You start to understand the appeal of death. After 2 weeks, your unit is sent out. Marching orders. 20 miles to a frontier outpost. Protection duty, they say. Soft job, someone mutters. You march in silence. Your feet blister. Your shoulders ache from the pack. Your helmet digs into your scalp. Sweat drips into your eyes. You're not allowed to stop unless the entire unit stops. You don't complain. At the outpost, things are worse. You stand guard for hours in the heat, the rain, the wind. No sitting. No shade. Just you, a tower, and boredom. And if something happens, a raid, a revolt, you're the first to die. You start digging fortifications, carrying stones, building fences, fixing roads. One night, a soldier goes missing. In the morning, you find part of him. No one talks about it. You just double the watch shifts. There's no glory here. No speeches. No crowds. Just blood and silence and orders. The local villagers hate you. They spit when you walk by. They think you're an occupier. You are. You take their food. You take their taxes. Sometimes more. Your officer is drunk most nights. He hits anyone who annoys him. He sleeps in a separate tent with blankets, wine, meat. You sleep in your armor. One afternoon, you're ordered to whip a prisoner. A local boy caught stealing grain. You hesitate. The centurion doesn't. He whips you first, 10 lashes, then hands you the whip again. You do as you're told. At night, you stare at your hands and wonder who you've become. The next week, you're called to escort a caravan. Supplies, you're told. When bandits attack, it's chaos. Screaming, dust, blood. You stab a man. He dies. You don't remember how. You shake for hours afterward. No one comforts you. They laugh. First, kill's always messy, someone says. Later, you vomit behind a tree. Then you march again. When you return to camp, there's no celebration, just orders. Tomorrow, you patrol again. This is the army. This is Rome. And this is your new life. Your body has changed. You're thinner, but harder. The limp is gone, replaced by a dull ache that never fully leaves. Your hands are no longer your own. They're cracked, blistered, calloused. Your face is weathered. Dirt seems to live in your skin now, even when you wash. You sleep lightly, always. You eat quickly, without thinking. You flinch at sudden noise. You speak less. You feel less. You're still in the army, still on the frontier, still surviving. But not everyone does. 2 nights ago, your tent mate didn't wake up. Fever took him. The medic said nothing. They burned the body outside camp. No ceremony, no name. You watched the flames and felt nothing, just the wind. You wonder, how do they endure this? How did they endure it then? The real Romans, the ones born into this world, raised in it, never knowing anything else. The answer is simple. They had no choice. Rome isn't about comfort. It's about survival through obedience, through tradition, through belief. Religion surrounds you, shrines on every corner, sacrifices at every gate. You've offered incense to gods you don't believe in, because not doing so is dangerous. Not socially, physically. Rome ties its survival to divine favor. If you deny the gods, you deny the empire. You've seen men punished not for theft, but for sacrilege, for speaking against Jupiter, for mocking a ritual. Superstition is law here. Omens are taken seriously. Priests hold power. So do augurs, those who read the flight of birds. If a bird flies the wrong way, a battle might be delayed, a trial postponed, a life spared or ended, and you must pretend to care, even if you don't, because not pretending can cost you your life. You watch a festival one evening. Torches, music, dancing. At first it feels joyful. Then you look closer. The faces are hollow. The joy is mechanical. The wine flows, but the fear sits behind every smile. Fear of gods, of authority, of hunger, of aging, of losing everything. You think back to your first day here, waking up in that miserable room. You remember the smells, the filth, the hopelessness. You thought that was the worst of it. You didn't know what came next. You didn't know the slow erosion, not of your health or comfort, but your sense of self. Rome doesn't kill you quickly. It wears you down, bit by bit. And yet, despite it all, people lived, people married, raised children, painted walls, wrote poetry, worshipped, fought, worked, cried, laughed. They built roads that lasted millennia. They invented legal systems. They conducted surgeries. They mapped the stars. They turned mud and stone into monuments. Because that's the contradiction at the heart of Rome: brutality and brilliance, squalor and sophistication, cruelty and civilization. They coexisted always. You realize now, they didn't survive in spite of the pain. They survived through it because of it. Pain shaped them, hardened them, defined them. They didn't ask whether life was fair. They asked whether it was endurable, and if it wasn't, they endured anyway. You're not sure how much longer you'll last. The next campaign could kill you. Infection, a misstep, a sword. But it doesn't matter, because here no one plans far ahead. You live the day you're given, and if you wake up tomorrow, you live again. This is Rome. It is ugly, it is glorious. It is 1,000 contradictions, held together by iron, blood, and belief. And you would not last a day. But they did. They lasted centuries, and they built the bones of the world you live in now. So next time you see a broken statue, or a crumbling arch, or a weathered Latin phrase carved into stone, remember what it cost. It cost everything. Now, close your eyes. Let them rest. Let it all fade away, because this world isn't yours. Not really. But for a little while, you were there.